Hi, it's Kassy. It's time to play in our art journals and do some really cool stuff with the products from the Sizzix Studio and the Royal Talens line, the collaboration. So we are back and I am really excited to dig in today. We've got some of our tools we've been using in previous videos, and if you haven't watched those videos, I highly recommend going back and watching them as soon as this one is over. Definitely lots of techniques and different things that we talk about and learn in each of the videos to get you started in art journaling. It's so much fun. It's very freeing. It's very just a great way to do some self-care for you. Okay, art journaling is a really great way to just take a pause from your life and to play with your art supplies, get to know them, maybe get some feelings or emotions out on the page, and help you move through the rest of your day. So let's get going. I'm very excited. Today we are going to focus on these two stamp sets. These are both from Vic Holland's from the Sizzix Studio collection. This one, so cool. I love these retro patterns, and it is called Retro. This is from Vic Holland's, and then also this one as well. This one is called Geometric. Really, really great patterns in here that you can stack up and make some cool backgrounds. I love the halftone dots here. Been real excited to get into those and dig in and use those. So those are the two stamp sets I pulled out for today. We'll see what we use. If you've been with me now for a little bit, you know that I sort of just let it flow and be in the moment. I don't really plan ahead what I'm going to do. I just sort of pick the things that inspire me in the moment, and then we see where it takes us. So this is kind of intuitive art journaling. Excuse me. So these two stencils I felt like were fun and went well with the two stamp sets. These actually, though, are from Cat Kerr. This one with the starburst is from the Create set. And these fun little circles are from Visitor. Okay, so these are from Cat Kerr. And again, you see these are 4 different sets from the Sizzix Studio line, and they're all going to work great together. So I highly recommend whatever sets, whatever style really speaks to you, consider getting more than one, because they really do all kind of work really nicely together. So that is fantastic. Okay, so those are the stamps and stencils. I'm going to kind of put them off to the side. We will get to them as we do, and we'll figure out how we're using them. Just want to show you also, we are definitely using more modeling paste for this video. We did use modeling paste in the last video, and I sort of gave you an introduction to it. We're going to keep going with that and show you other uses for it and other techniques. And then we have been using the acrylic paints to this point, and we have sort of a little bit talked about the acrylic inks, but not a lot. So really today I'm going to focus on just acrylic inks. We're not going to use any of the paint tubes. We're just going to use these inks and sort of see what else we can do with them. Okay, so I'm going to set those off to the side. And if you notice here, sorry, before we move on, I've got primary cyan, primary magenta, and primary yellow. And the reason these are so great is because they are the purest form of these colors, of these primary colors, so that we can mix them and make secondary colors and tertiary and all that. And really, this is like, if you don't want to have a lot of colors, this is the best way to start. Okay, and the set also comes with white and black. So this is titanium white, of course, and this is oxide black. And then it does also come with a yellow ochre, which is a nice neutral leaning into brown sort of color. So that is the pack of 6 of the primary set, that the colors that come in it. So if you just are getting started and you're like, I want to try acrylic inks, but I don't know if I'm really going to like it, I don't want to invest in a lot of colors, this is a great way to start. Okay, so you can mix whatever color you want, really. All right, so we got the modeling paste. We've got our registration tool. Mine, of course, is nice and dirty because I've been using it, and I am a messy crafter. So I've also got my journal. We have our tear off palette. So let me just get a new page started here. This has really been nice and handy. I just sort of keep it off to the side, and you know, it keeps like this. I have my silicone mat underneath here, and I could definitely just work directly on this. Then I have to like clean it up, and I'm kind of a lazy crafter too. So this is really nice because then I can just tear it off, and you could throw it away if you want. You could save it and use it in an art journal or somewhere else later on. Totally up to you, but it's a really nice tool to have. So okay, so first, this nice lid here that is for the stamping part of this platform. I'm going to take that right off the hinge. I do have the hinge adapter, the raised hinge adapter here. It just stays right on this registration tool because this is primarily what I'm using this for, and I just want to have it kind of always ready to go. I've got my sticky grid sheet here with the protective cover on top. I'm going to take that protective cover off so I can use it. Okay, and it's still nice and sticky, still pretty clean. So we're going to keep going with that one. And then I'm going to open my journal. Let's just find a nice blank page. I think I picked this one. Yeah, I've got my bookmark there. We'll just move that out of the way. I've got a nice blank page to work on, and I'm just going to stick it onto my registration tool so it doesn't move. I love this because one thing I haven't mentioned about the registration tool before, and I just kind of want to point it out. You notice that so this I think is like, let's see, with the working space is about 12.5 by let's see, by like maybe 8 or 9. That's this sticky grid area, but you'll notice the edges are flat. So you can have a journal that's hanging off the edge, or you can have something that's even bigger. If you've got like an 11 by 14 journal or something like that, you can totally use it with this registration tool. There are no restrictions on size, you know, because it is nice and flat and opens to the edge. So I just want to point that out for anybody that might be wondering about that. So anyway, back to this journal. This is from Royal Talens, and it is just a wonderful sketch journal. The paper is, I would say, like medium weight, and it's got like a manila sort of, or like kind of a cream finish to it. So that's what we've got to work with here. And if you wanted to start with a white surface, you could paint it white with white gesso or white paint or whatever. I would recommend gesso if you're going to, if you wanted to start with a white page. So, all right, let's move on. So the first thing I want to do is break the blank page because you know, I can just get stuck here and be like, oh, I have all these things in front of me. I have no idea where to start. So I don't want us to be there. So let's start and put some color down on this paper. Okay. And I think today I'm going to start with, actually, let's start with white. That sounds good. I was going to say a light color, maybe yellow, but I think I just want to start with white. And we're just going to, I'm not going to use gesso, but you definitely could. I love gesso. I highly recommend it. But we're just going to start with this acrylic ink in titanium white. Okay. And I am going to, I don't know, I'm going with the flow here. I have no idea what I'm doing moment to moment. So we're just gonna go with flow. So I have this stencil alignment tool, and it goes on, if I can just move this down a little so you can see what I'm doing. Yeah, so you see my hinge adapter here on the end, and I'm just gonna put this onto my hinge adapter so that I can stick, move that out of the way, so I can put this here. And you notice the holes are on both sides and the top and bottom of all the stencils from the Sizzix Studio line, which is fantastic because now it covers my page. And actually, I realize now I kind of want to move this down a little bit. So now I have the little dots are all over the page. I noticed though it doesn't quite go to the edge, and I kind of want it to. So I'm just going to lift this for a second, and I'm going to move my journal over a little bit. So I'm just going to move it in. So just take a minute and find the right placement for your stencil and your book. I'm just going to move it over just a tiny bit. I really just want it to fit on this page. So there we go. Fits perfectly on the page. Okay, so we're going to take our titanium white, give it a good shake. I shake it every time I use it, especially if it's been sitting for a minute. And then you're just going to unscrew the lid here. And I am going to put, if you haven't used it before, excuse me, you just have to squeeze the plunger on the top, and there's a little pipette down here, and then you can squeeze out your color. Okay, so I've got some on my palette page here, and I'm just going to use my sponge. I'm just going to use my sponge here and pick up some of the paint, and I'm just going to squish it down all over. And when you're using a stencil on a journal page or really anywhere, you don't have to use the whole stencil. You just don't. You can just do a part of it. You can do the whole thing. It's totally up to you. I'm kind of doing the whole thing, but I'm not being particularly careful about making sure I get every dot. I just kind of want an overall general kind of look here. Okay, I'm going to lift this whole thing off, but keep it attached for a minute so we can look and see what we've got. That is very subtle. Okay, it is a really light white. Maybe if I turn it here, you can see. The next thing I want to do is take this stamp set. This is the retro stamp set from Vic Holland's, and I really like this one here, and I kind of want to make a fun background pattern with it on the background of our journal page. So I'm going to pull this out here, and we're just going to play and see what we get. Okay, so what I'm thinking is I kind of want it to like go all the way down, but I want it to go back and forth. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick it up with my hinge adapter lid, the registration tool lid. And if you haven't used this yet for picking up stamps and positioning it, make sure that when you put this onto your hinge adapter, that the grid, this like etched grid in the top here, is on the top and not underneath. You want the underneath side to be smooth so that you can pick up that stamp easily. Okay, so I just pressed down, I just pressed onto it and picked it up. And we're going to ink it up and put some fun pattern and color on this page. So let's pick a color now. I think I want to do this primary cyan. I'm going to give it a quick little shake. I kind of like hit it on the palm of my hand there so it just mixes everything up nicely. And then I'm going to squeeze the plunger and put a little bit here on my page. And then I might do a tiny bit of the yellow. I don't know. I think I might want this to be green, or actually, maybe I want it to be more turquoisey. Let's see if we can make a fun turquoise out of this. I'm going to get some more white. Let's just play and mix a little bit of paint and see what we get. So I'm going to just start with some primary cyan. Ooh, isn't that gorgeous? Wow, that's pretty. And a little bit of white, a little bit more. And just keep mixing till you're happy. Oh, I like that. And then what if I bring in just like the teeny tiniest bit of yellow? It's going to be more green. I really want to try to get in between there. Let's see what we can do. There we go. There we go. Look at that. We're making some turquoise here. Isn't that pretty? All right. Oh, that's gorgeous. Okay, I love it. Let's do it. So now I'm just going to squish it right on to my stamp and put it back here, and then we're just going to press and see what we get. Isn't that beautiful? I love that color. I'm going to do it again because I have a little bit of a gap in that middle section there, and I just want to have nice coverage. So let's just pick up some more, and we'll go over the whole thing one more time. This is a new stamp I haven't used before, so sometimes that can happen. And that's why we have this lovely stamp positioner, so we can get good coverage and cover it again. Yeah, that looks good. There's still a little bit there, but I really like the way it looks. I'm okay with it. So now what I want to do, instead of moving my stamp, I think I'm going to move my journal and just move it up until we get to the next spot. Let's see, I got to kind of move some other things out of the way. There we go. And I want to leave a gap because I want to alternate the pattern. So I'm just moving this down a bit, and I think I'm going to be happy with it there. So stick our journal back down. I'm just going to do one impression here. Okay, my paint is almost dry, but that's going to be a good spot, I think. So let's pick up some more paint. Loving this palette paper. So just pick up more paint here. Make sure it's covered really well. This is a great color. And we just mix this color, okay, with blue, yellow, or excuse me, cyan, yellow, and white. So again, just want to reiterate, oh, it moved. That's okay, because we're going to be done with that one. That looks fantastic. Okay, and then we're going to go one more. I want to do one more going this direction. And now I'm really getting off of the mat here, so I'm not going to press down, but I do kind of want it to be there. Actually, I'm going to move stuff over a little bit. This is going to be kind of tricky, but I like to press things right to the edge. That's what I do. So let's go one more time. Okay. All right. Get good coverage here. And then let's just ink this up. Now, it's not enough on this platform to be flat, okay? And that's my bad. But it's going to be okay because I don't care. Because it's going to be great anyway. There we go. All right. I love that the gap between here and here is not the same. I didn't want it to be totally symmetrical and perfect, so that's great for me. I'm going to bring our book back here. Get rid of that. There we go. Nice and flat. Now I am going to move the stamp. So I'm taking the stamp off of the lid there. And we were going this way. Okay, so now I'm going to flip it. So these three pieces are going the other way. So they're not all perfectly lined up. They're just kind of going back and forth as we move down the page. All right. So I like it like this. Let's see. I like it like this right here. So I'm going to put it there. Okay. And then I'm going to pick it up. And then we're just going to do the same thing again. And there's a lot of paint here. This is great. Okay, we're just gonna keep inking this up. And stamp it down. This is gonna be really cool. Oh, I love it. Isn't that great? This is fantastic. So I also want to get up top here. So I'm gonna start there, line this up with the top where I want it to be. Whoops, there we go. I just want to get a little bit off the edge there, so we just get a little bit of that edge bit. Okay, and then we'll just keep going. Now, when you're doing it at home and you don't need to be on camera, you don't have to take your lid off of the hinge every time. You know, you just open it, ink it, and keep going. Okay, so that looks good. Now I'm going to come down here. We're going to get one over here, and we don't necessarily need it to be like centered or anything. I don't care about that. This looks pretty good though. I do want to talk about caring for your stamps. So this is acrylic paint. So we want to make sure this is a wet baby wipe. So I just want to make sure when I'm done to come in and clean my stamp. It is definitely perfectly okay to use acrylic paint on your stamp. Some people will say don't do it because, you know, if acrylic paint dries on your stamp over time, it could damage it. It could just make it less usable, okay? But number one, these are photopolymer stamps. They are very high quality and the paint comes off pretty easily. And you really just need to make sure you're getting the paint off of the part that stamps, okay? So if some gets stuck in the little cracks and crevices, doesn't matter. If it stains it, look, it's it's this nice tealish blue color. Amazing. It's a beautiful color now. This stamp is great. It will work forever. You just want to make sure to get the acrylic paint off of the part that stamps, okay? And that's all you got to do. Just a wet towel, take it under water with some warm soapy water and just like rub it with your fingers until the paint is off. It's no big deal, but please don't feel like you can't use acrylic paint with your stamps, because you definitely can. And there's so many great things you can do with it. So, all right. So really quick, because we did this part kind of quickly, and I just want to go back for a second and talk about mixing the paint colors, because so often we just use the colors as they come out of the pot or the tube or whatever. And that's great. But, you know, when I have 3 colors plus white, it can be sort of limiting. And what if you want a turquoise or a teal or something? I just want to offer to you that you can mix and make whatever color you want. And you just keep adding little bits of the different colors and mixing until you get what you want. And my best advice for color mixing is to practice. And as with anything, art journaling, whatever you're doing, if you haven't mixed paint in the past, in the beginning, it might not go exactly the way you hope the first time or the second time or the 10th time. But over time, as you build up your relationship with color and with your supplies in general, you will start to learn what they do and don't do. And so you will learn how to make turquoise or how to make purple or orange or whatever it is you want. And it just takes practice. So, but I will say, if you're like, ooh, I have no idea how to make turquoise. Well, so in this case, we use the cyan. I'm going to just say blue because it's blue. We use the blue and the white, and that makes a light blue. And then turquoise leans into green a little bit. How do we make green? Blue and yellow make green, right? So we just add a little bit of yellow because we don't want it to be super green. We wanted it to be more on the blue side. You know, if you wanted this turquoise to be more on the green side, you just add a tiny bit more yellow. And then you just keep mixing and finding the ratio that works for you until you have a color you like. And with these inks, it makes it really easy to do. Okay, so I just want to offer that to you and maybe challenge you to mix a color that you don't have in front of you. It could be with paint, it could be with ink, really anything. Okay, so let's move on. So I've got this awesome, these are like Starburst. Aren't these cool? I really love them a lot. And so I want to use these. We're going to get our stencil positioner back out. Okay, probably put it in the middle. And great placement already. We are going over the page a little bit. I'm going to scoot this in just a tiny bit. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to get some modeling paste. So if you recall from the last video, we put modeling paste straight onto the page and then we sprayed over top of it and covered part of the modeling paste. Well, this time I want to show you how to change the color of the modeling paste before you even put it on, because you can do that also. So I've got my my handy tool here that's got my brayer on one side and my short palette knife on the other. And I'm going to get a little bit of paste, just a little bit, you can always add more, out of our tub here. And I'm going to put it onto the inking palette. Okay. And I'm going to scoot this over so you can see this a little bit better. There we go. And I think I want it to be yellow. It's going to go over our background. And I think I want it to be yellow. So I'm going to pull some of this yellow that I pulled out here from the ink and just start mixing it together. And modeling paste is white and it's opaque. So that means whatever color you add to it is going to end up being a slightly lighter version of the original color, okay? Because the modeling paste is white. So it'd be, just think of it as like whatever color you have, if you mixed white in with it, what would that give you, okay? And obviously the more color you add, the deeper the color is gonna be, right? So we had, I'm going to put a little bit more yellow out here in a minute once I get this all mixed up so you can really see the difference. We added a fair bit of yellow to this, and it was a primary yellow. pretty rich color. Now we're getting like a really pastel kind of yellow, almost like a cream, or like a buttercream, or maybe even a light lemon yellow or something. Okay, but you can see how easy it is to mix up, and how we can make a different color of our modeling paste just from adding color to it. And I think I want a little bit more color. So here we are. We've got that. Look at the change in the color from the original yellow. It's pretty significant. And again, that's just because the modeling paste is white. So it's just going to affect that. So I just want you to be aware of that when you're mixing and you're not quite getting that bright, bold color that you want. That's why. So that's also why there are so many different techniques for using modeling paste, because like for the last video, if you recall, we did the birds and we had like that dark grayish blue kind of color. I would never have been able to get that bright, or that contrast of a color, or excuse me, concentrated color, if I just mixed it in. It would have been a lot more muted. Okay. So you just have to decide, like, what am I using this for? How, you know, what do I want the end color to be? Do I want it to be a little bit more muted like this, or do I want it to be really bold and bright? You know, you just have to decide what is my end goal, and then how do I get there? So this is just another technique and tool that you can use. So I'm pretty happy with this color. It's definitely a much lighter than the original, but it's a really pretty yellow. So now I'm going to come in here, and I just want to show you how you can, you know, use the modeling paste in some areas, but you don't have to go everywhere. Okay, so I'm just going to do there, and maybe down here a little bit. And you're just spreading it on kind of like you would butter on toast or frosting on a cake, whatever floats your boat there. Okay, so we're just going to do a little bit here and there. I've got some extra we'll use on another page, but we're just going to lift this and see what we've got. And look at that. Oh, it's beautiful. Adds a nice subtle yellow. And I think that looks fantastic. And it's subtle, but it's there. And it really is a nice complement to that other pattern. And that turquoise and yellow looks really great together. So can you see already the dimension there? The modeling paste is just a really beautiful way to add dimension right now, you know, and it's quick and easy. And now we just have to let it dry, or you can use your heat gun and dry it as well. Okay, this needs just a little bit longer to dry. And I want to do the next step. So I'm gonna put that aside for a minute, and we're gonna get out our other book here. This is from Royal Talens, the Van Gogh line, and it is mixed media paper, 20 sheets, and they're 9 by 12, which is pretty great. I'm just going to get one out of here. All right. I'm going to create on it, and then we're going to add it to our page. Okay. So I'm just sticking it down on my surface here. I noticed these, so let's see. I've got this halftone. Let's just see here. This is from the geometric set from Vic Holland's. I've got the larger halftone, and I have this like rainbowy type thing. Okay, and I think I want to use those together. I'm sort of forming my idea as we go here, but while I was drawing the other parts, I thought of this, and I thought it could be pretty darn cool if I can make it work. So let's see. Okay, here's what I need to do. I'm going to use a block because, well, I'll show you what we're doing here. Just a second. So I'm putting the rainbow piece, it looks like a rainbow to me, but the arched piece on just a regular block, and then this is just on this surface for now. Let's move it over here. Okay. All right, I'm sort of thinking this through as we go. I think I want to use the primary magenta and have like a contrasting color. And so I'm gonna need my sponge tool again. And let's see, let's put some primary magenta. We're going to try a couple things. I have an idea and I just want to see kind of how it's going to play out. Okay, so I'm picking up this primary magenta on here. I'm going to stamp it actually. Ooh, we need more. Definitely we need more. Let's get some more. Okay, and we're going to just ink up this halftone stamp. And then I'm going to put this rainbow stamp into the halftone. And then I'm going to stamp it. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. It's kind of grungy. I kind of like it. Let's do it. Let's do another one in case this ends up being, oh, I just stamped this. Oops. Okay, let's just use it. Because I don't want to waste it. That's not what I wanted to do. Let's ink up this again. Okay, and then pick up the ink just on that pattern, right? You can do this with any pattern, really. It's kind of cool. Okay, that's cool. I want to try it another way. Let's clean this. Okay. So now that's clean. Now I'm going to put ink directly on here. Okay. And then I'm going to stamp onto there and let's see what we get. Nope. I think because it's ink, it's not doing what I want. Now, if it were stamping ink, it would do what I want, but I think I kind of like that version better. Or we could just use stamping ink. We definitely could do that. Let me clean this off really quick. Let's try stamping ink. We've got some archival here. We're gonna try both ways. So we'll start with this way, because you definitely can use stamping ink on these beautiful babies. Okay, and then let's pull some of the color up. And let's see if that works. That's pretty cool. See, that's kind of what I was going for. I wanted more of the color to come off, but that's okay. Let's try it the other way. This is what we're just like experimenting, you know, like I have an idea in my head. What's the best way to make it happen? And this is what we do. So just clean it off really well. Okay, dry it with my hand. Okay, there we go. So now this time let's stamp the halftone. Super fun. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Okay, and then let's pick up the ink. Ooh, I think I'm gonna like this better. That's super cool, isn't it? I think I'm gonna go with this one. I really like the way that looks. Okay, and let's, we're just gonna try a few more here. And I like this red too. Oops, oops, oops. Okay, I'm getting confused. Let's ink this up again. Okay, again, this is just archival ink, no biggie. I do have some dots on here already. Oh, that looks so good. I'm just gonna clean it so I don't have to make sure and line it up exactly right. There we go. Just dry it off. Okay, let's go again. I'm gonna go further down and see if I get more concentrated dots, how that looks. So cool. Okay, I think I'm gonna do a couple more and then I'm gonna cut some out and we'll layer them up. So I have just, I made 6 of these, okay, 6 of these pieces, and I cut them straight across, oh, except for this one. So instead of having that little point at the end, I just cut them end to end like this, straight across, so that I could have just like this. And then I made this kind of shape out of it. So I've got 3 sets of them. So I'm going to stick these together. I'm just using some double stick tape. I'm putting it on the back. It's kind of off screen because I'm running out of space here. So yeah, so I'm just kind of sticking these together I don't know what I'm doing yet. I just thought it'd be fun to have 3 of these. This is just really fun. It's fun to kind of use 2 stamps together and make like an interesting pattern, especially since her set, her geometric set here, here I gotta put these back, but this geometric set is full of really solid shapes, which is so fun to do what I've just done here. You could have done this with any of these solid shapes. It would look really, really cool. And really with any other stamp, any kind of pattern that you might have. So I don't know, just something to think about and to consider when you're doing your stamping. It's a fun thing to do. Okay, I'm still not quite sure what I'm going to do to finish this yet. I do have this acrylic marker in light gold from the Amsterdam line, and I think I'm going to do some doodling on the background. So you just want to give this a good shake. Make sure you hear that little ball is rolling around, and then give it a pump or 2. Make sure your ink is flowing nicely, and then you can start using it. I think I might just try like outlining some of the stars. That's pretty. Sometimes if I'm just kind of stuck or I don't know how to finish a page, this is a really nice way to help me kind of figure it out. I think actually I might outline the edge of these with the gold as well, just to bring that gold somewhere else to have some coherence, you know. And I feel like these need something around the edge. They're just kind of floating here in limbo. I don't know. They feel not finished. It's a really cool, fun pattern, and I'm excited to use it. But I think just adding something around the edge here is going to be helpful. So this is such a pretty gold. It's a great metallic color. And these markers, the metallic colors, they come in the deep gold. This is the light gold, and then also a silver. So that's really nice. You have all the main kind of metallic colors there. Really pretty. It's a nice outline. So just going to do the 3rd one, and then we'll figure out what's next. But I really like this quote. It says, "Great works are performed not by strength, but by perseverance." And I think that is a great reminder for us when we're working in our journal or on any artwork, or really anything we do in our lives, to be honest. We just have to keep going and keep persevering. So I have an Ecoline brush pen. This is number 700. It is black. And I just want to outline this quote. I've cut it up into pieces that I think will work for me, but I kind of want it to stand out a little bit more because this is a light background. This whole thing is really pretty light. I'm wondering if that's the part that's kind of bugging me, is that it's not, is more contrasty. I mean, there's definitely a contrast of colors because we've got the teal, you know, and then we've got yellow and red. So we've got some warm and cool together, but it's all really light and sort of high key, middle key. The red is a bit darker, but still. I don't know. I'm thinking there's something missing. Maybe I need to do some doodling with the black on the background. That might be fun. Yeah, so I'm just gonna outline these, sort of giving them an edge so that when they are on this lighter background, they'll pop off a little bit more so they stand out better, I guess. And you can kind of see, here's my border there. So it's still pretty thin and subtle. I mean, against this lighter background, you can see it does help. So I'm just going to do that. And I don't know, maybe I'll use this black marker and do some doodling in the background. All right, let's see what we can do here. I think I'm just going to outline underneath, or maybe on the top and bottom. I don't know. So I'm just using this black marker to outline kind of around this background pattern. Just adding some extra doodles. It is darker, so it's giving me a little bit more contrast. Okay, I think I'm going to go around both sides. I feel like it will look a little bit better. It's kind of... All right, I really like the doodles on here. I think they help. I think what I need to do is put color in the background. I just, for some reason, something's not quite right and I can't figure it out. So I'm going to use a different Ecoline brush pen. This is number 334 and it is called Scarlet. Okay. And I kind of like this turquoise, yellow, and red theme I have going. So I'm sticking with this. And I'm just going to like loosely go in between, and I'm not even going to try to be all perfect, you know, and yeah, I just feel like I need to, I don't know, do something here. Okay, so I have added red to the background. And again, I used this Scarlet brush pen, and I really just like loosely, you know, it's not super neat or anything, and I didn't really want it to be. I wanted it to be just sketchy and kind of messy. I went around, obviously, my my stamped part there and the raised stars. And can you notice those circles that I did in white in the beginning are poking through that marker, which I think is so cool, and we didn't even really see it before. I like where this is now. I'm feeling a lot better about it. And I think I decided on a different layout for these pieces. I really like these, and I want to use them to frame my quote, which is kind of my focal point. So, but now they're red, and there's a lot of red now here. So I also have the Sky Blue Cyan 578 brush pen. And I was wondering if there's these lines that kind of go through, and I wondered if if I can follow them very loosely, not caring about it being perfect, but just kind of following these lines around. And they definitely don't match the turquoise that's in the background, but they're still blue and blue, you know, in the blue family. They're okay. That's okay. How much do I like that? Well, I've already done it to one, and I kind of want to use all three, so I'm going to just keep going. Okay. This page has definitely taken some turns and not gone the way I expected. Not that I really expected anything in particular, but again, it's just really interesting where your art will take you sometimes. So yeah, but I have really enjoyed this process. I loved showing you the way to add color directly to the modeling paste before you put it on your page, so that you can, you know, have color right away, and doing this like second stamping, or, you know, stamping a pattern into your stamp and then inking and stamping it, whatever, with these pieces here. That was interesting. And just like the whole thing in general, and the white poking through, lots of really cool things here. Okay, so I think what I want to do is stick these, and I might have one kind of go off the edge a little bit and cut it off just for interest. And then have these kind of like down here off to the side, and then I'm going to put my phrase across here. I think that's what I'm going to do. So let me stick these down, just trying to make sure they're kind of lined up and, you know, spaced pretty well apart. Whoops. Okay, and then have this one be off the edge a little bit. That looks good. Let me cut off the end of this before I start the next step, just so I know where this is going to be. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to take my black Ecoline, and I'm going to outline the edge of these. So, okay, I'm going to work backwards because I know where I want this to end. And then I'm just going to get my glue stick here and get this all sticky. And then do this, and we'll be good. This is all right. Well, I think we're done for today. This is my page. We used the modeling paste, and we mixed it with some of the primary yellow acrylic ink to get these great raised stars here. And then we used some of the Vic Hollins stamp sets from the geometry set and from the retro set. Very, very cool. We used some stencils from Kat Kerr from Visitor and Create. Okay, so there's those. And then we used some Amsterdam acrylic ink and these awesome Ecoline pens. So we did a lot today. And we have a very crazy page to show for it. Very fun. I love the retro vibe and the colors used. And this was just really fun to sort of doodle and play and see where it takes you, you know, as you move through the process. So I hope that you found some inspiration, and you go make your own journal page and share it with me so I can see what you have going on. We also, I forgot to say, we also mixed colors. Remember, we mixed that turquoise. So definitely play with your inks and your paints and mix some new colors and have lots of fun. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss future videos, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.